Alright, so let's try to create the most advanced door block in Autocad by making use of block editor, attribute and data extraction to create a table. By making use of this method, you don't want to create a table every time when you insert the block of a door. We can avoid the pain of creating table every time. First, you have to understand that the size is 80 and the width of the frame is 10 by 10. Now it's up to you. So the total width of the door will be, if you try to measure it, it will be 100, but the gap is only 80. And also one more thing that you should really care is the size of the door is 82, which is same as that of the width of this opening. First point should be here and second point is here, should be 82. Then we can make an arc by creating the center point is right here and the start point is here. I'm sure that size is 82 and the last point is here. Alright, let's convert it into a block and I'll be naming it and picking up the base point, which is right here, and open in block editor and hit OK. So here we are in block editor. First, we would like to have a stretch parameter linear from this point where the center of arc starts to where the arc ends. So the distance 1 will go right from the center of the arc to the point where arc starts or arc ends, which is both the same. Alright, I'm gonna select the distance and turn up the properties, app control 1. Oh, you're taking up a lot of my space here. Going down. Alright, I'm selecting up the distance and getting to the properties, and I don't want to see two grips here. I can turn it back to 1. First, let's stretch this part of the door horizontally. For that, we can get into actions and stretch. Select the parameter and picking up the point where you were stretching, picking up the stretch frame and picking up the objects for stretching. Great. Then we want to scale the arc. For that, we can get into scale, select the parameter and select the arc and hit the enter key. The next thing is we want to stretch the door vertically, so that we can make use of stretch, picking up the distance and picking up the node where you want to stretch, and picking up the stretch frame and picking up the objects, includes both rectangle and arc. If I try to test this block right now, you can see that if you observe the top of the arc, it's moving in positive x, rather we want to move it in a positive y. For that, we'll just select the stretch parameters, the last one, and get an angle offset of 90, so that will stretch vertically. And I'm trying to test it. So the arc is not stationary. So we have some problems with the arc. So what we can do here is we always want to do the same thing. We want to delete the arc and we have to draw it again. First point is here, second point is here, and arc center. First point is here, second point is here, and the third point is here. Okay, we want to right click the scale parameter, action selection set, and I want to modify the set, and I would like to select the arc again. I won't highlight, hit the enter key. That's it. If I try to test the block, you can see that works perfectly. Draw an arc, scale it, delete the arc, scale it again. That's the step. Alright. So that's all about scaling this block. Great, now let's try to restrict the distance of the distance 1 so that we can create D1 and D2, which represent door with 100, 90 and 80. As you can see, that select the distance and get into here. The distance type shall be a list, and the list will be right here. So assume that the distance 1 should show the door of width 100. So this one represents door of width 100. If you want to have a door of width 90, we have to give it 82, 72. Add it. So this will represent door of width 90, and 62 will represent door of width 80. So that's it. Now let's try to test it again. What, dude? This is 80. This is 100. This is 90, and this is 80. So we are having 3 doors. Okay, if you're confused, let's try to understand this size. Now, first point, the second point, this one will be the door of width 80. So that's what I told. Okay, so now let's try to add an attribute to here. So attribute ATT. I like to show the ID. It is whether if it's D1 or D2 right in the model space. So ID is a visible parameter, ID, and understand the size. So first point and second point. So that is it. ID is here, and you can place it anywhere on the screen. Now, if you want the table to show maybe materials and size, you can incorporate that. So this one will be material. Material should be an invisible attribute, as I don't want to see materials right in model space, rather in the table. Okay, so make it an invisible attribute will hide the attribute of material right from model space, but you can see it on the table. You can place it in on the screen, as this one doesn't show up on the model space. Now let's get into the size. Size is also an invisible attribute, and you can place it anywhere on the screen. Finally, I'd like to place a block table properties here, enter key, and add a parameter which will include all of these things here. Okay, ID is a D1. ID is D1, D2. You got 3 doors here. Now all the distance will represent the door of width 100, door of width 80, 90, door of width 90, and this one will represent door of width 80. So the size can be like 100 and 210. This one will be 90 and 210. This one will be 80 and 210, and fill up the materials according to your need. Okay, D1 will have all the material of what? Name your local trees available. Now. Okay, that's great. Now this one is plow. Okay, this one is what? Car. Okay, great. Alright, that's it. And I like to close the block, save the changes. So there will be a door, which is right here. I'm trying to test the size. This one is maybe 20. This one, okay. Now let's try to mirror it. I'd like to have the door of width 100 here. Okay, let's try to insert the door. Just right here, and they can place it here. And I don't want to fill any of these things. Now let's try to create a door of width 80 here. For that we can offset it. This one is 80. You can trim it. Alright. Drop it down. D. I'm gonna copy this. This one goes right into D1. You can see that size has been changed up. This one goes to D2. Try to place it, move it. First point is here, and turn off ortho, and second point is here. Okay, move it up. Well, I can say that first point is here, and second point is here. trying to zoom in, you can see that's a perfect fit. D and D2. Alright, that's all about creating a block, and let's finally create the table by making use of data extraction. Okay, yeah. Man, save it. And data extraction. Next, save the data extraction stuff. Next, I don't want to see everything, rather I want to restrict my display right into blocks with attributes only. Next, I don't want to see everything, rather I want to restrict my display right into attributes only. Okay, now I don't want to see the name of the block. Drag ID to the first cell, drag count to the last cell, and drag size to the second cell. That's it. Now I want to place the table right into my mouse space. This is door. Place it up here. That's it. Before trying to change everything into D2, D1, and this one can be like D2, the table has not been updated yet. So to update the table, right click on table and update table data link, which is right here. So you can see that the table has been updated, which is the use of this procedure here. And anyways, that's all in this video. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.